giants in the land. Ooh, Lord, you take my hand. There may be trials all around, but strength I've found. You know my name, you know my heart. You've been here from the very start. You got my life, you will never leave. You are here with me. You know my name, you know my heart. You've been here from the very start. You got my life, you will never leave. You are here with me. Oh, my shepherd, I will follow you high and low. You are here, I know. Oh, my shepherd, I will trust in you high and low. For you are with me everywhere I go. Never leave me, never leave. There may be giants in the land. Ooh, Lord, you take my hand. There may be trials all around, but strength I've found. Oh, you know my name, you know my heart. You've been here from the very start. You got my life, you will never leave. Lord, you are here with me. Oh, my shepherd, I will follow you high and low. You are here, I know. Oh, my shepherd,
let's begin with the story. There were many a times when Jesus appeared to people after he was resurrected. One day, Jesus' disciples were near the Sea of Tiberias when Peter said,
I'm going fishing.
Everyone decided to go with him. So they all went out in a boat and fished all night, but they couldn't catch even a single fish. About dawn, they came back to the shore and saw a man standing on the beach. It was Jesus, but they were unable to recognize him. He called out to them,
My friends, have you caught any fish?
They told him they hadn't.
Well, throw your nets on the right side of the boat, and you shall catch plenty of fish.
He said. They did as he asked, and immediately they caught so many fish that they couldn't even pull in the net. Suddenly, John, another Jesus' disciple, recognized the man on the beach. He cried,
It is Jesus.
When Peter heard that, he jumped into the water and swam to the shore. The others stayed in the boat and brought in all the fish to the shore. When they came to the beach, they saw a small fire burning and fish frying over it. There was bread kept for them too.
Bring me some of the fish you caught.
Jesus said. Simon went to the boat and brought over 100 large fish. It was amazing how the net hadn't torn with so many large fish in it. Jesus finished cooking the food and invited his disciples to come and have breakfast with him.
That was a wonderful, wonderful story, Holy.
The Holy Tales.
Today's story is called Jesus Dies on the Cross. I hope all of you children will enjoy listening to the story.
Go on with the story, Holy. Let's not waste any more time.
It was about 9 o'clock in the morning when Jesus was led to Golgotha by the soldiers for his crucifixion. His cross was in between two thieves who were also being crucified that day. Before putting Jesus on the cross, the soldiers offered him wine, which was mixed with myrrh and would numb his senses. But Jesus refused it. The soldiers took off his clothes and threw a dice to see which one of them would get to keep his robe. A sign which said, "This is Jesus, King of the Jews," was hung at the top of his cross. People who came to watch him being killed shouted,
He saved other people. Let him save himself.
Go ahead, King of the Jews.
Save yourself.
The soldiers continued to make fun of him and kept on offering him drinks of sour wine. One of the thieves on his side said,
You say you are the Messiah? Then prove it by saving yourself and us too.
But the other thief on his other side said,
Don't you fear God, even when you're dying? You and I deserve to die for the bad things we have done. But this man has done nothing wrong.
Then he turned to Jesus and said,
Jesus, remember me when you come to rule.
Jesus said,
You will be with me this day in heaven.
Jesus' mother was there in the crowd with other women and watching all this happening. Jesus saw her standing near one of his disciples whom he loved very much. He looked at his mother and said,
Woman, he is your son.
Then he turned to his disciple and said,
From now, she is your mother.
By now, it was almost noontime. Even then, the sky grew dark and the entire land was was in complete darkness until 3 in the afternoon. Jesus looked up in the sky and called out,
My God, why have you forsaken me?
Then he shouted,
Father, into your hands I put my spirit.
and died. Suddenly, the thick veil that hung in the temple was torn apart from top to bottom. The earth shook, rocks split apart, and graves broke open. When the captain of the guard saw all this happening, he said,
Truly, this man was God's son.
All of Jesus' friends who were watching the crucifixion went home with hearts filled with sadness. The religious leaders did not want the bodies hanging on the crosses the next day because it was the Sabbath. So they asked Pilate to hurry up with the deaths by breaking their legs. The soldiers broke the legs of the 2 criminals, but seeing that Jesus was already dead, they did not break his legs. However, one of the soldiers stuck his spear into Jesus' side, and blood and water flowed out. A man named Joseph from Arimathea asked Pilate if he could bury Jesus' body in a brand new tomb that no one had been buried in yet. He was given permission to take Jesus' body down, while other people brought ointments and perfumes to put on the body, which was the Jewish custom before burial. They wrapped Jesus in special strips of cloth for burial and laid him in the tomb that was like a large cave. A heavy stone was rolled in front of the opening of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and the other woman named Mary stood nearby and saw all of this happen. So, did you all like the story?
I did. Me too. I like the story too.
The Holy Tales.
Early morning on that following Sunday, Mary Magdalene and few other women came to the tomb where Jesus was buried. They hadn't been able to prepare Jesus' body for burial because of the Sabbath, and now that it was over, they could put their offerings of oils and perfumes on him. When they left town to go to Jesus' tomb, the women wondered about how they would move the heavy stone from the opening of the tomb. But when they reached the tomb, they were amazed. The stone had already been moved. The women rushed into the tomb, only to find that Jesus' body was nowhere around. They were confused. Suddenly, 2 men appeared who were dressed in bright white robes. The women were terrified to see them, but the 2 men, who were angels, said,
Why are you looking inside a tomb for someone who is alive? The one you are looking for isn't here. He has risen from the dead. Do you not remember that he told you he would be crucified and come back to life on the 3rd day?
The women then remembered Jesus saying that in one of his teachings. Mary Magdalene was standing outside the tomb, trying to understand what might have happened. She started crying when she saw a man standing nearby. The man asked her,
Why are you crying?
Mary said, Sir, please tell where have they taken his body? I will go and get him.
Mary.
The man gently said. That is when she realized that it was no one else but Jesus. The women, along with Mary Magdalene, rushed back to town to tell Jesus' disciples that he was alive. The disciples ran to the tomb as fast as they could to see if it was true. Peter ran into the tomb and found the strips of cloth that were used to wrap around Jesus' body were lying neatly folded. He was nowhere there in the tomb. He was alive.
That was the best story ever. I am so happy. Thank you, Holy, for telling me this particular story. I loved it.
Me too. It was indeed a nice story.
I'm glad you kids enjoyed the story. But it's now time for the question. Why did the women want to go to Jesus' tomb?
Can I please answer? Please? The women went back to the tomb to prepare Jesus' body with perfumes and oils.
Well done, Freckles. Great! I hope you liked the story too. Stay tuned and keep watching. Until next